Hey, it's Adele from Let's Get Inkie, and I have a double spread process for you today in my junk journal. And guess what, peeps? It is now completed. I am so excited. I will be doing a flip through soon. I have another journal flip through to do before this one. But it's finally done, and Archie actually helped me finish the last page. If I haven't posted it by now, I'll be posting it tonight. I took some photos. Archie came in while I was photographing some pages the other day, and he wanted to do some arting in my journal. And at first I was a little bit apprehensive, not going to lie, but I had one spread left to go, and so I let him go crazy with some paint pens and his beloved washi tape. The kid loves washi tape. It's next level, his love of washi tape. So I kindly donated some lime green to his cause, and then he wanted a pink floral one as well, so I gave him one of those too. So I'll be posting some photos of that over on Insta, but I'm really excited because I think this journal has been my favourite journal that I've ever worked in. It's a combination of the size and the different papers that I chose for this time. There were a couple of papers that I didn't like that I included, which I'll talk about when I film the flip through. But yeah, I only had a couple of pages left, and this little one it wasn't a dictionary paper. What was it? Oh, it's a quotation book. So I found this amazing book at my local op shop ages ago that was famous quotations, and I really like the look of the text on the paper because there's numbers next to it and footnotes and references and all sorts of texty looking typography. And I decided I had some leftover gesso, and I had previously painted the center of this page, which is why it's quite opaque in the center. And then and on another project I had some leftover pink, looks like acrylic ink, I'm thinking, or maybe watercolor. And so all I did was I stuck down this photo of Archie and my nana in a big embrace. I recently filmed a scrapbooking video using this photo, which you will be seeing in the next few weeks. And I had one of the photos left over, so I thought I'd pop it in my journal because it is one of my favourite photos. And then I just found a nice quote, and I'm just writing that with my Uniball Signo broad white gel pen, and then a few little sprinkly bits here and there. And I found that because I had put that gesso down in the center of this page, it really helped the text to be visible. I think without doing that, it would have been a little bit hard to read this quote with the black text in the background. So hot tip if you're using dictionary or book pages. And then, I do have one page left. I just realized I haven't done the very, very, very back page of this journal. Oh, poop. Well, I'll have to go back and do that. I thought I was finished. I swear the pages in this journal keep multiplying. Every time I think I'm done, there's another one. So for this page, I have been putting off this page for the longest time because the right-hand side is from a kid's vintage encyclopedia, and I absolutely love it. It's bright and colourful, and there's all these different people from all different countries playing all different instruments that are commonly played in their country, and I really loved it, and I just had no idea what to do with it because the page on the right I felt was too pretty and busy to have paint put over the top of it. So I had been putting off this page for a very long time. It was another of the procrastination pages. And then this left side was some note paper with gesso that I had previously put over the top of it. And I don't know why I decided to mix red and yellow because it wasn't going to end well. But I had a very happy accident there. I tried to wash off the watercolor and, wipe off, sorry, I should say. And it smudged into this really soft, pastel-y kind of color, and I love it. So happy accident time. If it didn't work, I was going to pull out the acrylic paint because, what I always say, you can always cover it up. It just depends on what type of paint that you're using as the base as to what you can cover it up with. So I wanted a stencil in the background, and I recently rediscovered my 12 by 12 stencils. I've put them in a more accessible spot than they were at my old craft room. And I had this one, which it's a very old stencil. I'm not sure where it's from, I'm sorry. But I thought that it was a nice, simple pattern. I just wanted a simple pattern because that right-hand side page is so chaotic. All the things are going on. So I grabbed my white gesso and a makeup sponge, and I'm just sponging that through the stencil. And I was originally just going to do white, but then I thought it was a bit too soft, and I wanted to tie in that right hand side page, and there was quite a lot of yellow. So I thought, let's go all out and put yellow over the top of the white. So because it's got that white gesso as a foundation, the yellow is going to be very yellow. It's not going to be diluted by the colours underneath at all. And then I decided to try a bit of an ombre. So I'm adding some white gesso to my yellow to make it lighter down the bottom here. And of course you could use white acrylic paint. I don't have any, so I use white gesso when I want to use some white paint. Dried that up and it was all done. And I really like the way that that brings in the colour to the left hand side without it being too busy with colour. I felt like I couldn't, if I had chosen to do rainbow colours on this left hand side, it could have been a bit too much for the eye to take. I wanted to give a little bit more detail to this background stencil, so I grabbed my gel pen again and I just very, very wonkily traced the stencils, but I did it wonky on purpose, peeps, of course, because if you do things wonky, then it doesn't matter if you go extra wonky. That's how I see things. And a man riding by on a horse isn't going to tell that it's that wonky, so it's okay. I should have really put a piece of paper down before I started gluing that image, because I did get a bit of glue on that right hand side. So put a piece of scrap paper down before you glue stick a delicate image like this. I stuck her down and then just snipped off the bottom piece there. And I realised I've got 2 yellow pages in a row, which I don't know, I probably wouldn't typically do if I was thinking about it. I didn't check the page before though, just because yellow isn't a colour that I always use, and so I like to spread them out in my journal if I can. Next, I'm coming in with a Stabilo All pencil, which is a water-soluble pencil that you can add water to and it goes all deliciously runny and lovely. And I felt like Emma Stone just needed a bit of shadow around her. It was just, the image looked too crisp and it needed roughing up a little bit. I then went through some clear stickers that I had on my desk. I think they were from a crepe paper sticker sheet, maybe the Heritage collection. And I added a couple to either side of her arm, and then I plonked one in the middle of her hat, just as a bit of an extra detail for something a bit fancy, to make it look like she had some more detail on her. And then I was contemplating whether to outline her with white paint pen, or I just felt like this page needed one other colour. Didn't need too much, but it needed something. So when in doubt, I always grab this blue, it's like a powder blue Posca paint pen. And I find that it's a really great colour to have in my stash of paint pens, because it seems to coordinate with so many things, and it just goes. And then I decided to use this paint pen, which I haven't tried before, hence the vigorous bobbing of the pen on the right hand side to make the acrylic paint inside wake up a little bit. But it's fluoro yellow, and when I bought it, I think I must have bought it on a bit of an impulse, because fluoro yellow, it's hard enough to make me use yellow, let alone fluoro yellow. But I thought, hey, I must have been feeling a bit risk-taking on the day that I purchased it. And I really like the way that it looks on this page. It gives it another dimension without adding another colour. So don't always be scared of the fluoros. If you're like me, sometimes they can be fun to play around with. Sometimes they can be terrifying, but sometimes they can be fun. I added a quote down the bottom here, and I'm pretty sure I'm just using a Sharpie permanent texter because this page is a little bit glossy and my usual Pilot G2 pen may have skipped a little bit. So then I thought, hey, let's give her a little bit of highlight, and then I didn't like it. So luckily this image was very glossy and I could just quickly kind of rub it out and pretend that never happened. But I kept it in the video because I wanted to show you my thought process and that I didn't like it. I've got tapping fingers, so that means I'm getting frustrated, and I'm trying to think of what solution I can have for this page. So I come back with a stencil. This is a circle one from Flutterby Designs, and just some white gesso. And I think the background really needed another hit of something. And this white was subtle, but it just made the background not so flat, and just brought another layer to it. I was also able to bring it across to the right hand side by using some yellow, and just very, very light yellow. So nothing invasive, nothing too bright, and nothing fluoro, but just a little bit of yellow dots here and there just to make the background kind of bleed into the right hand side a little bit. So then I'm trying to figure out what else it needs, because it needed something. She was giving me this expression that looked like she wasn't happy with how the page was going. So I grabbed a stamp that I've had in my collection for ages and my black ink, and I just did some jumpy little text in the background, and I think that brings across the lettering that I did on the right hand side, and also makes the black Stabilo all pencil outline of her not look so out of place. It brings it in a little bit. Then to add even more to the background, I'm just doing some white doodly little circle bits, and then this page is done. So thank you so much for traveling along the Inkie June Marathon with me. I've had so many beautiful comments. I have to get back to comments very badly on YouTube. We had a time today. I had to rush with Violet to the medical centre because she had hair caught around her finger, and her finger blew up and went bright red, and it was cutting off the circulation. So we had to get that tended to today, but it just seems to be one health thing after another. But I will get back to your comments ASAP once the children learn how to sleep at night again and I can work at night again. But thanks so much for watching today, peeps, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow on Inkie Quill with another video. Bye!